With The Walking Dead coming to its climactic 60-minute conclusion in 3 days from this recording, it's safe to assume that everyone is expecting some deaths, big and small, in this final episode. In today's video, we'll go over who we can confirm will die by leaks from the final episode, along with plenty of predictions. That does mean that yes, this video will contain some rather minor to medium spoilers for the final episode of The Walking Dead. If you enjoy The Walking Dead content, make sure you subscribe for much more. And make sure to check out my last video talking about how we have a very good chance of seeing both Lydia and Rick in the Daryl spin-off show. And I would like to take a moment to thank everyone for 5,000 subscribers. My last video blew up and many new faces have come to stay up to date on The Walking Dead, so you should too. So first off, with a confirmed appearance as a walker, Lance Hornsby will be returning. We last saw him get an arrow shot through his neck in Season 11, Episode 20, but he was never officially put out by Carol nor Daryl, meaning that he would of course die and turn into a walker. This photo was accidentally leaked some months ago, and while he doesn't have the arrow through his neck in it, someone who was present on set during the final episode said that they did see him with it, and this was before anyone found out that he died in Episode 20. If he happens to come back as one of the variant walkers, it's possible he'll retain some sort of memory and be able to find his way back into the Commonwealth. And because he knows a secret passage that we learned of in Episode 20, he'll be able to slip right past the security as they're already overwhelmed with the current invasion. Maybe he'll even rack up some kills of some of our characters. And speaking of kills, who from our group can we expect to bite the dust? Well, don't necessarily expect this episode to be a bloodbath because we're not really going to lose that many people and not too many big characters. However, my first two candidates would of course be Luke and Jules. Not only are they completely throwaway characters who have only made 2 appearances in all of Season 11 so far, and one is a character long past his comic death, they will certainly be going in this episode. Some evidence to back this up comes from a leaked behind-the-scenes photo from the final minutes of the final episode. In it we see Yumiko, Magna, Connie, and Kelly, but of course, no Luke. This scene is one that will happen after all the conflict has been resolved, and possibly after the 5-year time jump, and it doesn't contain Luke with his original group. It wouldn't be a surprise at all if he died since he's so minor and means nothing to the story at this point. Hopefully he and Jules will have a cool death though, since it would essentially be like Beatrice's in Season 10, Episode 16. It was no one important, only a background character, but it was still someone. And AMC also accidentally confirmed this death by releasing stills from the final episode as promotions. And behind Princess, yeah, that's Luke dead on the ground. Good job, AMC, you ruined it on yourselves. And this walker that Connie is shooting is probably the one that got him. So Luke is a definite death and Jules is probably going too. However, a bigger death we can expect from our main group will be Rosita. We all remember when a behind-the-scenes image leaked of her hanging off the building with baby Coco, and Eugene and Gabriel reaching for her, and it has now been seen used in every single piece of marketing and promotion for these final episodes. This scene is very likely to be her final scene, sacrificing herself to save her daughter, which would be something very characteristic of Rosita. Leaked images also came out of both Eugene and Gabriel with baby Coco strapped to them. And why would they suddenly have Coco? Well, because her mother is dead. Rosita will probably get Coco into the window and either get bit but still make it up, or she'll get pulled down into the horde. If this is the case and this is how she goes, I will be kind of disappointed that after all of this time, Rosita goes out like this. However, I may have evidence that contradicts this death. AMC has released a documentary on the final episodes, and in it, they showcase the moment most of the main cast wrapped their filming. Rosita's actress, Christian Serrato's, wrapped filming back in Alexandria in the nighttime, wearing clothes similar, if not the exact ones from the scene of her trapped with Coco. So this does raise the possibility of her survival, but it could also just be hopeful thinking since I love Rosita and not all scenes are filmed in order. It is possible that she gets bit and returns to Alexandria to die, something like Andrea in the comics. I think it's possible AMC has showed us this scene so much that we think she'll be fine because we've seen it so many times. But in reality, it's a bait and switch and she does die to subvert expectations. Because AMC is obviously terrible at keeping secrets, as we have learned in this video. Negan's wife Annie is next on my list. From the moment we met her, I always had the suspicion she would go at some point, especially since she's pregnant too. For Negan to live happily ever after with his wife and his own child was something I'm sure none of us expected, nor something that will happen. After all, Negan and Maggie will be going to New York, and we'll see that show in April, so I can't imagine Negan leaving his pregnant wife behind to travel a few states over with the woman who hated him and tried to kill him multiple times. Negan isn't going to get to settle down. He's gonna feel the pain Maggie once did and venture off with her, and maybe even the two will be able to relate over it. For what reason he leaves for New York, we'll find out in this episode, but the greatest chance is because he loses everything he has, and also because something much bigger is awaiting for them. But definitely because Annie is no longer around. Same with his child. The biggest death this episode could bring us would be that of Aaron. Aaron has not been seen in any leaked photos at all or when the show wrapped. Even with the leaks of the 5-year time jump, Aaron is nowhere to be seen. And he wasn't at the wrap of any other characters. So, where is he? Aaron has always been a great character, and I think the final episode will end the story with his own demise. With all that he has done for Alexandria, the group, and even the Commonwealth when he was working for them, Aaron stepped up as a leader for Alexandria, giving Pamela and Lance the tour. He has started to heavily mirror Rick, and we all know how Rick's story ended at the end of the comic book series in the Commonwealth arc. Rick had done something truly powerful and impactful, which led to his death and a statue to be erected of him. With Aaron, I think he'll do something meaningful as well and die, especially after we have had the scene of Aaron talking about his husband, Eric. There's this leaked photo of the windmill in Alexandria during the final days of filming, and as you can see, it looks very different. TWD Universe Spoilers on Facebook captioned it saying Aaron Impact, which means the painting of the windmill was probably inspired by Aaron or to commemorate him after his death. The rainbow colors had me initially thinking of something relating back to Pride, since Aaron is a homosexual character. Or maybe it's just bright and colorful to represent new beginnings after everything they've been through or after an impactful death. I think this would be a good way to send off Aaron, since he's been such a great character and has brought a lot to everyone. If it wasn't for Aaron, the characters would have never even made it to Alexandria. It would of course be sad, but also hopeful if he's able to change how things were, like how Rick single-handedly changed the entire world and its future in the comics. Maybe he'll be the one to take Pamela out of power as Rick's speech once did. That ties right into my next death prediction. Pamela Milton. With Angela Kang as showrunner from season 9 to now, every single villain, antagonist, or just someone who caused problems for the group have all died. Think about those rebel saviors back in season 9. Alpha, Beta, Dante, Maze, Leah, Pope, every single Reaper, Toby Carlson, the Warlord, Sebastian Milton, Lance Hornsby. You see what I mean? This trend Angela Kang has been on leads me to believe that Pamela Milton won't be surviving, especially after she shot Judith. I'm quite disappointed because I was really hoping her and Lance would be arrested for what they had done, not get the easy way out and die, escaping punishment. It'd be greater if they had to sit in a cell in a city they built from the ground up after the world had ended, something Rick had envisioned for Negan. It's a lack of civility that I don't personally like. Therefore, I think Pamela will be taken out in some way, though it is possible they will put a spin on it. The spin I'm referring to is that of Sebastian in the comics being sent to prison for the rest of his life for killing Rick. We could see the opposite with Pamela. Nonetheless, she is a viable option for death. To switch up gears and talk about who will be safe, Lydia will be fine and survive, albeit without a part of her left arm. She's confirmed to survive from some behind-the-scenes leaks, and so does Elijah. Things weren't looking good for him, but he does make it. Eugene and Max will be A-okay and will even have a kid of their own. Whether this is their biological kid or an adopted one, perhaps Coco if Rosita and Gabriel don't make it, they will get a happy ending together. Ezekiel and Mercer will also live, and I theorize that they will be the new leaders of the Commonwealth. This photo shows them standing together, and the leakers have said they're addressing the people of the Commonwealth. So I'm assuming the two of them are the new leaders after Pamela gets dethroned. There will be a time jump as well, so there will be a lot of happy endings and peace. This finale isn't really going to be a massacre of our characters, only some minor deaths and a conclusion to the main story, while leaving the future wide open with all the spin-offs. The appearance of Rick in the CRM are still a complete mystery, and from the time of recording this, it's going to be 3 days before we find out, so don't get your hopes up because there's still a great chance we won't be seeing Rick or Michonne. Sure, Andrew Lincoln was in Georgia during the filming of the final episodes, and a lot of scenes were recently just changed within the last month for the finale, but it is not concrete and we should not get our hopes up. That will be it for today's video though. That is what we know for certain along with some of my own predictions. This will probably be my last video before the finale airs, so next time I talk with you all, we will know what the outcome was. Get yourself excited though because this will be a huge episode and it will be historic. And for any international viewers, the final episode will be streamed to YouTube Live on The Walking Dead's YouTube channel, and it will be live streamed at regular airing time of that of television and AMC+. So make sure to tune in if you have no other way of watching the episode. Comment what you think and who is in your list of death predictions. And make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe for much more content. If I can and have the time, I will try to make a video discussing how Rick could return in the final episode before this Sunday. No promises, but keep an eye out and have your post notifications on. Thanks everyone for watching, stay safe, and have a great day.